goes nothing. Holy crap. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Plan B. All right, so a little explanation of the the mishap that we just had. When I bought that Model 2, I decided to get this transformer, which is a step-down transformer, a dusty and kind of smoky transformer, to take 240 volts and half the voltage. So 240 to 120, and obviously this thing can be reversed and go from 120 to 240 volts. And the reason why I got this transformer for that Siren is because the circuit that I run my Model 1 out here on, it has a 20 amp breaker going to it. It originally had a 15 amp breaker going to it, but years ago my grandparents had it switched over. We had some issues with Christmas lights that were blowing the breaker whenever we use like the microwave or whatever, incandescent Christmas lights back in the day. But anyway, that circuit was meant for a 15 amp breaker. They switched it over. It's sufficient for the Model 1 because the Model 1 is a 1 horsepower Siren that runs on 110 and pulls 8 amps. Model 2 is a 2 horsepower Siren. It runs on 120. 110, 120 is basically the same, but at the same time it draws 24 amps. I think the reason why those numbers aren't symmetrical, I think the reason why it's 3 times the power draws because the Model 2 is not quite as efficient as far as the motor is concerned. But anyway, I bought this transformer so that way I could run the Siren on our heat pump circuit and actually get the Siren to run on 240 volt because I didn't want to pop any breakers and I didn't want to have any voltage lag with the Siren, so that way it would be able to run at full speed. Whatever voltage lag was there, obviously it's minimal. The Siren ran about as close to full speed as you could think. Maybe just a little bit slower than usual, but it ran fine. It didn't pop the breaker. The 20 amp breaker was sufficient for the little run that I did. But when I ran this thing, I mistakenly set it to the wrong voltage. And I'm going to show you guys why I did that. So, as you guys can see, switch says 110. If you'd focus, switch says 110, but the switch is pushed all the way over here to this direction. It's pushed all the way over here to this side. See how it says 220 right there? And 110 is right here. Now I would think if you design a transformer like this, you would have it to where you push the switch in the direction you want the voltage to go over to. Obviously that wasn't the case. And when this thing was running the Siren, I was getting 240 out of the 120 sockets here, and these Euro sockets were running at 480. So it let the smoke out, but the smoke that came out was not the transformer destroying itself. It was the circuitry that runs all of this right here, this little nonsense. It's got a circuit breaker here, but the breaker didn't pop because it wasn't like drawing enough amperage to pop the breaker effectively. So this thing is rated for 5,000 watts. It should have had the amount of power to be able to handle that siren. So yeah, I just had it switched to the wrong voltage setting because I pushed the switch over thinking that I pushed it over to 240. It still works. So I got it on 110 now. And it's stepping up the voltage like it should, stepping it down like it should. The voltage meter still work. All of this is dead over here, but that's all working like it should be. And if I cancel this, give me 1 second. All right, so now I have it on the 240 volt circuit. Switch this switch over. There you go. So next Saturday, I'm gonna run the siren on this thing with it switched the way how it is right now, so that way it actually does give me the correct voltage and I don't blow the freaking siren up. And I'm gonna see what the difference in pitch is going to be, because something tells me it's going to be a little bit higher when it's running on this transformer than when it's running on just the normal circuit out here. But nothing crazy like putting double the freaking voltage to the siren, like, which is what happened earlier. Now you guys have heard Model 2s run on half voltage before. I don't know if there are any videos of Model 2s running on double the voltage out there. So, oops. At least I stopped it before the siren blew up. Alright, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this blooper-filled video.